Hello everybody, Thorgal here, and welcome back to another episode of Unbound. Today we're getting started down here because I wanted to show you guys how many mob drops we have. I've been building the factory building for the last many hours that I've been on this world. And apparently I forgot to turn off the mob farm. I'm not really sure why I turned it on last or for what. And I actually don't remember why I came down here. I might have needed ender pearls or something. I don't remember. And then I looked through this here and check out and anyway, so it was running and then I'm like, whoops, I turned it off. And I have 2,600 ender pearls, 237 iron ingots, 400 redstone and glowstone, and then of course the other stuff here. You know, in the 30,000, 60,000, 30,000, and so on, all these items. So we got tons of stuff, right? Which is nice. So it's off again, and then I also check out down here how much of this stuff we have here. Look at all these trophies. And then we also have these statues cores that I'm gonna have to see if there's something cool we can make them. We can make these statues, so I might make a few of them here eventually and just place them. I don't know. I think they're just for display purposes. I don't think they do anything. This one here, I can't wait to make one of these. I love my shulker boxes. Oh, there's even a sheared sheep. That is cool. Anyways, so I just wanted to show you guys this. Don't let your mob farm run. But let me show you guys what I did with the factory. Okay, is it a little streaky? I'm getting 60 FPS. Not sure what's going on. Maybe it's just in my head. Check it out. I love the colors. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to look like it belongs in this forest. It kind of blends into it, but it still sticks out enough with the details, right? I like it a lot. So let's go over here the proper way first. I am running on the latest version of the modpack now, 1.1, which also brought the latest version of immersive engineering, which I told you guys that when you do that, your wires and so on will break if they go through blocks. Well, they weren't broken, but if you give it a block update next to it or something, then the wire pops out, okay? And it seems to be a little bit buggy when it comes to the skyhook. I used to be able to just stand here and right-click and it hooked on. And now I kind of... There we go. I need to go forward further, but jumping doesn't help either. And this is the proper way of coming over here, which I probably won't use that often, but I wanted to have it. Bam. Little damage. And I'll show you guys the inside and the details in a minute, but I first wanted to show you what it looks like from the outside. Right here is going to be a path coming up to here. Right, and I also have not done the pipe exit and entrance yet. I don't know, we might do that towards the end of the episode. But let me show you guys first what it looks like from the outside. These windows right here, you will find all over the place now. They're from DecoCraft. These are really cool. I really like that there's a bunch of different windows now. And they even have functionality. You can open and close them, which is awesome. I like these windows a lot. That I would have probably not built those with chisel and bits if I would have known these existed. Then down here we have the basement. We'll check that out as well. You guys see there is some custom molasses doors. I made the door factory right there. But anyway, so let's go up here. This is my vantage point that I like the best if I don't overshoot it. There we go. And you ready? Ta-da! I like it. I like it a lot. I'm very pleased how it turned out, the colors and so on. I went with the slabs up there because I did not want to have a stronger pitched roof, right? Right there. So I needed to go with slabs, and in order to fill this, so make it a full wall, I needed to use the stone slabs, right? And that is why I used them up there, but it looks good. I like it. There's one, these are 3 single windows, and these are double windows. So they made like that, 2 by 2. And they open differently than these. These slide up and down, and these open outwards, which is nice, right? So I'm very happy. I have not finished the pipe in the back yet, of course. We still need to do that. And you guys also see here, it looks a little bit different, and that's what I wanted to show you guys first on how I managed to make it so it still looks like it is coming, you know, through the blocks here. Now, I was not able to use anything chiseled. If you use anything chiseled with these guys right here, the structural ducts to make these covers, it gives you a texture missing. Okay, so I needed to use something vanilla, and the andesite right here, I didn't want to use stone or stone bricks because I think they would have looked different. So I used the andesite and it blends quite well, I think. You know, it works. And on the inside, let me get my trusty crescent hammer here. Right, so I just come from the dynamo, sorry, not capacitor, directly up with a leadstone flux duct, and then on top of that we set the connector, and that goes and will go into the building right there. I just wanted to show you guys this, how I hid it, in case you want to do something similar. It works very well to hide stuff like that, and I did it on all 4 of them, of course. So, and then out here, we had this planned anyway, so I came up with this way here. I did not want to put rails on this, okay? The rails, I tried it. Number one is you can only put rails on one side, so I would have had to make this too wide, right? And I'm just gonna pretend that if people work in here or something, they are hooked up to a safety system or something, right? Up here, I have the rails, so if the foreman comes out or something, they can just check out, hey, everything's spinning properly, right? And so on. And let me, oh, I didn't make it. Let me go ahead and sleep real quick. Just so we get the haze in the morning. Look at it from over here. Like I said, I'm very pleased how it turned out. And now I'm going to show you guys. You guys saw there's a door on this side. But I also made a door on this side in case we want to come out from the basement. Right there. It's like a little hidden door. Not hidden, but bam, the automatic close. And this is our basement right now. I went with this floor here. I kind of like it. I forgot what this is called. This is cobblestone zag. Yes, that's what it's called. And it gives you this pattern, which kind of looks a little bit like it has wet spots, dry spots, and so on, right? Lighting, I went with DecoCraft. I wanted to try something different, and I like it. They are kind of industrial looking. I don't think you would have something like that in a living room or whatever. And of course, they're functional. You can turn them off and on, which doesn't make much difference because I have so many lights down here. And our mega torch is here. That's for the factory and also the forest behind it. So the lighting is all just visual, right? And then I hooked up our blast furnace that's cooking us steel right now and the coke oven. I put them over here. I didn't want to have them over in the house and the floor anymore. Now that we have a factory, right? And then I made a spiral staircase here. I could have used this stuff or also from DecoCraft. But as you guys can tell over here, when you are a little bit narrow, it's, you know, you get stuck and because you can also go up on the side of these. You guys just saw that. I'm kind of like floating against the wall. It's weird, right? So I just made a regular plank slabs spiral staircase, which I will never use because we also have an elevator. Right, I put an elevator here because I don't want to have to run this down every time. And it's fine. And this is the upstairs. Again, I went with the DecoCraft lighting. Over here, I suspended it with the hemp wires and the... what is this called again? Steel structure cable connectors. This is our door. This is from Molasses. It's a big... It's a 3x3 block door. And I wanted to have something big. And this kind of works perfect. Not too thrilled about the oak, but it's the nicest one. And again, I just, you know, went a little bit of chiseling bits here and there. This is what it looks like. I'm pleased. I think this is a cool looking little factory that we can put in stuff now. And here is our walkway across. And then over here, once this pipe is done, I'm going to figure out how to dress this up a little bit. But I didn't want to dress this up until the pipe is done. And also, let me show you guys these windows here real quick. You guys have to see them. They're really sweet. Bam, they open to the outside. How cool is that? You know what? I'm going to leave this one open. Just so we have one open. And let's do this quicker. Alright, good. So, what are we going to do in here? I think that... I know we have done immersive engineering many times before. But I still would like to put a crusher in here. And some of the plate presses for the different types. So if we need to make plates or wires and so on, it's going to not cost us as much to make those. And then we'll see what else we're going to put in here. I think I got everything crafted up that we're going to need for this setup. At least the beginnings, I should say. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put it. Now, I don't know if the crusher would actually not be better off being down here. Underground. But let's get the power in it first. I already wired up the outside. It wasn't hard at all, of course. Just ran the wires to between these words relays, and then up to this relay, and then I put a hole here, and I think we're gonna put an MV capacitor instead of just an LV. And I just wanted to make sure it has nothing on the bottom and has nothing on the side. And it probably has something on the top. Yes, I always just like to undo all the connections. So I think right now it has no connections whatever. And we're gonna put that right here in the wall like that. I think that works. And then we're gonna have an output here and an input here. And now there's gonna be a very short wire, but it should be fine. And we're just gonna run it like this. Now this should be charging nicely. Okay. Now what did I put up here? I don't want you there. You stay with me. Okay, cool. So we got the power going in. And because this is a smaller area over here, then I see this is a problem. I don't know where I'm gonna put everything, but I think we're gonna put the four. I want to make 4 plate presses. Oh, I didn't make the plates. We still have to make those as well. But we're gonna make the 4 plate presses over along this wall here. Let's check here real quick. The metal press. So that's always 2 scaffoldings and the redstone thing on the bottom piston. Okay. So let's get the scaffolding, redstone block, and just start with that. And if I come to here, that would need to drop down to that. I think that will work. So let's just keep them 1 apart. Or should I? You know what? I think it's better if we actually come from the back forward. Don't put this straight in front of the entrance here. So 2, 3, 4. And like that, and I figured out a different kind of timing that I want to try out this time. And 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna need to wrench these or hammer them. Like that. Downwards, and then on the top is going to be the light engineering block, right? Heavy engineering block. That looks like a heavy. I don't think I made enough. I only made 2. Okay, we're gonna have to make 2 more real quick. Oh boy, I don't think... Yeah, I gotta get the steel out of the basement. Hopefully I made a couple more. Okay, 9 so far. Alright, so let's put these 2 up here. Okay, and then the power is up there. And now the conveyors, which I want to come from the back. This way. I like these conveyors because you can click on these triangles in order to make sure they go in the proper direction. I like that a lot. So now we got that, and I think we just hit them on that. Yeah, there we go. So we got 2, 3, and 4. All right, and then the thing is right here. I made a bunch of the crates. They will auto insert into a crate right there when it's done. And in the back, these ones are gonna be the ones that drop the items onto it, and they're gonna be right there. I think that should work. I don't think it needs to be one off the ground. I guess I should test that real quick to make sure before I set the rest up, and we're just gonna use a hopper for that. Let's put anything in here. Bam. Yes, it cannot drop it. Okay. Or did I just pick it back up? No, I didn't. Okay. So they do need to be 1 higher. Okay. Because it apparently takes up the whole block space of this. So why don't we do this here? Let's put the connectors on top first, so I have something to place against as well. And they're gonna need power anyway. Like that. Okay. And now I have no doubt in my mind that it will drop it. And you know what? I'm gonna take off the magnet. Oh, I put them up here. Let's put an item in here. Yes, now it falls down. Okay, good. So this is the setup that I came up with, and I just want to run you through it real quick. Unfortunately, it does not work, so we're going to have to check out something else. There's a crate. This is where I'm going to put the items, like steel, okay? And then there's a duct up here with a servo, a regular servo that is set to high. So only when it gets a redstone signal, it's on. You just saw it flashing here. You're going to see it flashing every 4 seconds, but it doesn't pull anything out, even though I have 20 ingots in here, right? And the first 3 are different from the last one. This one is going to be plate, then wire, then rod, and the last one is going to be gears. Okay? And if you check on immersive engineering, I'm just going to tell you, the plate, the wire, and the rod each take 1 ingot to do something. Okay? Make 1 ingot a plate, make 1 ingot 2 wires, or 4, I forgot. Make 1 ingot 2 rods. The last one is going to be the gears. To make a gear, you need 4 ingots. Okay, so that's why this one is set different than the first ones. If I show you right here, if I can get it, pull out 4 items at a time. Okay, that's what I set it to. And the very first, or the first 3 are all set to pull out 1 item at a time. Okay, and these up here are all set to 80 ticks. So every 4 seconds, I wanted to pull out 1 item and send it to the crate so it can drop it. But I think this pulse here is too short. That's why it's not pulling anything, right? So I made 4 sequencers right here. And I wanted to talk with you guys about this here. This is a sequencer. This is the default interface. And what this does is there's 64 fields. 8 columns, 8 rows. It starts on the top left, goes through the first row, then in the second. So it starts up here, down to here. And it does this entire scenario in 64 ticks with a delay of 1. So that is 3 point something seconds. Okay, it will run all the way through, which is, I think, fine for our purposes. It should work. And it's right now set to disabled. So what you can do here is, for example, I can turn this on. And now if this, I also need to set it down here to once. When a redstone signal is received, loop the cycle once. No. No. Loop the cycle all the time. Ignore redstone signal. So then you guys are going to see it turn on. And then a long time off, on. Long time off. And on the bottom right, if you guys check, you see the steps it's on. Right? So you can pretty much tell it, okay, for 8 ticks, no signal. Then 8 tick signal. And then none, 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 none. I hope that makes sense, okay? So let's clear this. So what I want to happen here is, I want to test this. I want the first 7 rows to be empty and then the last one on. Right here is where I'm going to give it 8 ticks. And hopefully that is enough for this to pump out 1 item, okay? So that is, I just put the redstone lamp here as an indicator. And let's see if this works or not. This is the timer, that's the sequencer. So it should just start dropping every 8 seconds. You're going to see this stay on longer. It is still not long enough. How long do you need to pump? Okay. Let's do 2 rows. Okay, it did 1. 2. 3. Okay, so that seems to be it right there. Apparently we need 2 rows on. I don't get it. What is your problem? Okay, so let's do it like this. Let's turn these off again. And let's go with a delay of 2. Now we should get it should take longer to get there, but then pump longer. Okay, so that doesn't work. So now let's make our way back. Let's add 4 more. So now that is 16, 20 ticks. So that is 1 second it stays on. Wait, this doesn't make any sense to me why this doesn't work. Why is this so flaky? Okay. And of course, I never want there to be more than one. So let's take them out here again, just to make sure we have a fresh test. And I'm just gonna put them in now. Let's see here. When it turns red, we should get one. We didn't. Now it's the second time. We still don't have an ingot. Third time. We still don't have an ingot. No, this doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever why this doesn't work. Now we got one. What is it, like, need a warm-up or something? Okay, you know what? I'm starting to think this would almost be easier if we use a hopper now. We put the crate on top and put a hopper underneath, because this thing here just does not want to work that way. Let's try that, guys. I hope you guys don't mind the troubleshooting here. And I'll show you what I mean by hopper. I did bring hoppers. Yes, okay. So this is the timer. Let's put this out of here so I don't get it mixed up. And we're gonna use the hopper now. Okay, can I have this pipe, please? Thank you. So we're gonna put the hopper here. Yep. And we'll put the crate on top. This bugs me that, but it's not the sequencer's fault. It isn't. It's this servo here. I think it just doesn't reach the end or something, so it never comes out. So now I need to. What happened to the? There it is. Okay, so I don't want to put this on there yet. I want to reset this here. I want to set this to 1. Okay, I believe a hopper can do 2 items a second. So that means I need to give it 8 is less than a second, yes. So that should work here. Well, let's test it. So now I'm just gonna make sure this is pointing up to the top. Oh, but I need it to be the other way around. Flip. Yes, I need the redstone to be on so it holds the item and then just turn it off for 8 ticks, which is less than half a second. And on enabled. Okay. And then, so it should release 1 item. Let's see if that works now. Let's just put all the 20 in here. So we should still see only 1 at a time. There's 1. There's 2. So this works. Okay. Now the thing is that on the... let's take them out so it stops. On the very last one, I'm going to have to do something else. And this up here, I don't know if I mentioned it yet or later, is going to probably become an ender chest. And in our main crafting area, when I want to make plates, I can simply stick it into the ender chest. And then here is going to be another return ender chest or something. And we can even use this for auto crafting. So that should work. All right, so now that we have this, let's make our first plate here real quick. I made the engineering's workbench. And it takes 5 steel plates and an engineering's wire cutter. I also made this here, of course. Recipe, we needed to make this one right there. It takes 1 steel plate, 3 lapis, and 3 paper. Gives you the molds blueprint, okay? And that's the one that's in here. And then you get all these recipes over here. And I want the metal press mold first, the plate. Okay, I feared that it will eat the engineering's wire cutters, but it doesn't. And now, of course, we can use this to make the rest of the plates that we're going to need, 20 more. So again, this is going to be our first one, the plate. And yes, power. Power, of course. We need power. Let's use that, and I still need a connector over here. I already set this up. This one post because I wasn't sure where I want to put this, and it might still move around later on. But there we go. And now I can run the wire from here. I hope I can. Yes, 2 each. And I wanted to make sure it's high enough because in Crimson Skies, I keep getting shocked by these wires. Which sucks. Constantly taking damage. Can I really not reach you? Alright, there we go. 1. You know what? I'll just wire up the other ones in a second because we only need this first one. And like I said, I guess I can put that in here. I need 20 more plates. And now we'll see if this works. See, it picked it up. Oh, this is really good timing. Nice. So that works. Really cool. And so the other 3 right here, I'm going to set up the same way. These 2. And then the last one, we're going to have to come up with a different timing. We're going to end on loop 1. And we're going to be on. There's a lot of clicking here. For half a second. Or less than half a second. Off for less than half a second. On. Off. On. Off. So I really could just switch this into 2 different fields. But you guys see the pattern here, right? And hopefully this works to drop 4 items, or 1 after another, I should say. And because it takes 4, it should not cause a problem. I guess we can try this real quick if it will work with, let's use this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it will get sucked in, and then it starts doing the next 4, and the next 4. So this actually, this will work. Okay, good. Let's make the other presses here, or the other molds. And they should all be in here. Good. Oh man, I made 20. I only needed 15. I'm a knucklehead. But the plates are not going to go bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put this in here. Actually, I'm going to make just 1 at a time. So there's the gear. That's the last one. The rod. And the wire. Okay. So let's do that. And then we'll test it out for each one of them real quick. So the wire I want here, the rod I want to be here, and then the gear in the very end. And the gear is the most important one to test if it actually works. So, and got power, and now we can test it. So 4. And you're gonna see, now it sucks it up. It sucks all 4 of them up, it presses it. Next 4 are ready. This is actually good timing too. I'm just worried about having stuff laying around here later when I mass produce stuff or whatever. And lose it. I'm glad we got this. A little bit different than we have done in the past, and I wanted it to be a little bit different, so that's... I'm happy. I guess we can also, just to make sure, I'm definitely gonna need a lot of those, so let's make 4 of these, and let's get some iron as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just test the other 2 as well. I'm just gonna put that. So that's the wire that's gonna go in here. Drops 1. Makes me want wire. By the way, if you throw any invalid materials on these, they do not suck them up. Good. And then we'll try the last one here for the rods. Again, just 1 at a time, and it makes 2 rods. Perfect. It's all working out. I'm very happy about this. I just spent 20 minutes trying to figure out a logic behind these immersive engineering wires. And I recorded it and stuff, but there is no logic behind this, okay? And I'm going to explain to you what I'm talking about. Right here, when I updated the pack, and I gave this a block update, these wires broke instantly. The ones that came from the bottom there, right? That's why we had to run the conduits, because supposedly you cannot run wire through a block anymore. So, I set it up like this to show you guys that it doesn't work anymore, and it worked. But then, when I put a block and I put a connector on the top and on the bottom, the way you're supposed to do it now, it doesn't give power through. Alright? And then the next thing was, that's where the non-logic part comes from, is when I put this thing right here. What is it called? The wall mount right here with 1 on top to run the cable through, it broke. But when I have it like this with the relay directly against the wall, it doesn't break. So I'm just gonna have to check here when immersive engineering updates again, if it then is gonna break or not. But for now, I cannot get power through the block without doing it like this, or possibly, you know, putting a capacitor in here, like an LV capacitor or something. That was the next thing I was gonna do. But for now it works, and I got the power running down here to our crusher. Okay, I set this up. We've done so many of them, it doesn't need to be shown. But instead of the dropping crate from Botania, I made a automatic precision dropper from Actual Editions. And by the way, I put a fence post here just so it doesn't look like it's hovering in the air. Just like I put fence posts up. Whoa. There's a hole. Just like I put fence posts underneath these crates here. I didn't like that they're just hovering in the air like that, right? I could also use the scaffolding, but I had these on me as well. So, put items in here, and it just automatically drops them down, and it crushes them up for us, and it's gonna put it into this wooden crate right here, right? I already did a little bit. But now, my problem is in this pack, and I don't think there's many options out there overall. There is no really nice multi-block furnace or smelter like we used in my last series on the 1710 Rail series with the Railcraft steam boilers, right? Nothing like that exists, at least I don't know. Now, don't say the arc furnace from Immersive Engineering, because I kind of refuse using it. I would use it, but I don't like that you cannot automatically insert the electrodes on the top. That bothers me. You can automate making them, the whole process with the coal dust into the coal ingots or coal coke ingots, and then making the rods out of them and so on. There's even an automatic, this thing right here, there's now an automatic workbench. Where is it? I think it is Simple Machinery, maybe? Automated workbench, the thing right here, right? Which is a really cool thing. So you can automate making of it, but you cannot automatically insert it. It's not possible. I tried all kinds of things, and it's not meant to be automated, okay? There's a ton of ports on the arc furnace. I tried them all a while back on Immersive Engineering. So if you guys mention it, don't be upset that I just won't use it, okay? Because I don't like it. It's so expensive, and then you cannot automate it. It makes no sense to me. The Immersive Engineering is all about automation to me, right? So anyway, there is no automatic or big multi-block furnace or smelter, okay? So what I'm going to test here is I want to make the seared, the furnace from Tinker's Construct. I just made that in Crimson Skies, and I kind of like it, and it's multi-block, it's bigger, it's industrial, you know, it's not a one block machine like everything else. So that's why I want to test it, but we're going to make a very small one first, because I actually don't know if we can pump the finished products out of it. That's kind of the question I have, so I hope this is enough. So we're just going to put it here for now. It doesn't really matter where it is. And it needs to be, I think it can be 3x3. I don't have the book on me, but if I'm not mistaken, you can make it a 3x3. That's the smallest one. And in the corner somewhere needs to be the tank. Yes, okay, so it did form. And each one of these can hold up to 16, okay? And it cooks all 16 at once. So it would be nice, but like I said, we need to, what is the key? Right there. We need to figure out, actually, can I just, in bucket mode, can I right click this? I can. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Here we go. So we got this ready. And then I'm just now going to let's just do this so you guys can see it. You guys see it puts 16 in each one of them. And it takes a while to do it. Actually, sorry, there's another test we need to do. I forgot. I do have another crate, so we're just gonna put that here. I also wanted to know is if it's going to be able to get them in there. Yes, okay. So we can automatically insert, and this guy here cannot do a max of 8. So let's turn that off and put it, because I still need to pump it from over there into it, right? So it put 8, and I want to see if it puts the next, it does make 16, and then it resets the timer, which is okay. We're just going to use something that is faster, a better servo that inserts 16 at a time, right? So now this works, and then, of course, now my question is, when I go the other way around, is it just going to suck out this stuff again? Okay, so does not. It did. So that's a problem. Okay, so it looks like it can. So that means I'm going to have to set up a filter for when I pull out to only pull out finished ingots. Did this go? Oh, okay, it's back in here. I thought I lost it. Okay, so this does work. Now my question is, do I need more than this? And then the other problem is also, right? There's a lot of problems right now. Okay, think about it this way. It does 1 ore at a time, and let's say it gets 2 silver grit. And now I take these 2 silver grit and put them in here. Then it does the next 2. It puts the next 2 in here, right? Every time this smelt timer will reset until it has 16. So we have to do something to make it so it will only insert when it has at least 16 of something. And it's finally time to use one of my favorite mods ever called XNet. I think you guys have seen it a couple times on my channel, but I just absolutely love XNet. It's one of the coolest mods ever. I was very happy when it initially came out. You pretty much need 3 things. You need the controller from XNet. It's all very inexpensive, by the way. There's nothing to it. You need network cable, craft them in stacks of 16, and connectors, crafted like this. Now, I wanted to point one thing out, by the way. When you place a cable and then you break it again, it does not... Oh, it does stack now. Sometimes they don't stack anymore. Like it says right now, network cable, right? But sometimes when I break them, they turn into this, the blue network cable. I'm not really sure. I've never figured out when this actually happens, right? So get used to that sometimes network cables, you craft them and then they turn into blue network cables. Maybe it's fixed already. I don't know, but it's just something. So I'm putting a connector on the bottom. Now, the connectors, by the way, by default, can read from all 6 sides around it, okay? But we need one right... Check it out. This one doesn't stack. Connector, connector. Oh, because now it has an NBT tag. Okay. So we need one underneath this crate. We're going to need one on here, on the actual furnace. Then I'm going to put one here and one here. Okay. And this one here in the middle is where, shift right click, is where we're going to have our controller sitting. And here it's just going to be like that. And over here we're going to have a small storage crate. I wanted something a little bit bigger because, you know, I can put up to 9 stacks of stuff up here, which could probably overfill this. Something like that. We'll see. I just wanted something bigger, and we have a few of those laying around. And then we'll connect all this up like that. I could also put the connector here on the side, so I don't need to go on the ground, but it doesn't matter. And connect this up. So now all this is connected. And when we check in the controller, it sees all 4 of them already, okay? Now the first thing, actually, that's what we're going to do, that's last. Now let me show you guys the way. I always do it because there's something that I found with XNet that's always really important to keep in mind. Now I don't like running this wire directly to here. So I might put another bracket up here later, but for right now, now I don't like it. So let's put another relay up there. I just don't like the wires when they just hang around like that, right? No pun intended. So let's put it right there. And why do I have 2 connectors? Not sure. Alright, so from here to there and from there to there. Yes, now, you know, you wouldn't get stuck with your head. I like this better. So, now this is powered. And I'm going to explain to you, there's a bunch of different things you can do with XNet. You can transport power, logic, items, fluids. Let's check here. Energy, logic, storage, items, fluids. That's it, okay? For our purposes here, we're only going to need items. Storage, by the way, is when you hook it up to a RF Tools storage controller, I believe. That's how it works. I've not used that. That's the only one I haven't used. But we need items, right? And now we say create. And now it's created. And whenever you do something in XNet, you set up a new channel here. You always uncheck this here first. Now this channel will not do anything until you're done setting it up and you check it here for enabling. I always find that very important, okay? So, what's the logic going to be? We need to pull out of the crate and put it into the furnace, and then pull from the furnace out into the small storage crate. All right? So we're going to split this up into 2. Yes. So first we're going to go here into the crate, say create, extract. And amount in destination inventory to keep. All right, so this is gonna be, I thought that there was gonna be pull only so and so many out. I thought that XNet allowed that. Number of ticks for each operation, single or entire stack. Okay, we're gonna go with stack, but then here we say only 16 at a time. So that means if I have 64, it will only put 16 in there, and then to wait until those are done, and then put the next 16 and the next 16. Alright, that is actually not what I wanted, but let's just test if it works overall, okay? That is it. And then here, this is enable blacklist mode. If you click on here, now it would be blacklist. Otherwise, it's whitelist. If there's nothing in it, it will just take anything, right? So for our purposes right now, we're going to use on extract nothing, okay? But on here, on the create, on the insert, I'm going to leave this the way it is. Max amount in destination inventory. I think this is where I need to set the 16. Here, I don't need to set anything. I hope so. Let's, again, it's something a little bit different here. And we're going to say, you're only allowed to put in silver grit. Right? Because later on, there's going to be other things in here as well. Other byproducts, like that reddish gem from thermal expansion. I forgot what it's called. And then maybe also some other byproducts that we can get later when we're handling something, okay? Right, so let's not babble here. So we're only putting in silver grit, and I want to keep 16 in there. And then right here, we're going to say in another channel. I could do it on the same... No, I can't. Item. Again, uncheck it. And this time, we're going to extract from here. And we're just going to set it to stack. That doesn't matter. And I'm going to blacklist silver grit. So it's not allowed to pull out silver grit. So if anything else is done, like silver ingots, it's done. And we're going to insert that into here, into the small storage crate. And that is it. That should be the whole logic. So when we turn this on now, channel 1 and channel 2, we should not have anything. What? Okay, I made a mistake somewhere. So insert... I get it. Okay. We're going to have to check meta and NBT here. My bad. And then on this extract, the same. Meta and NBT. Because this silver grit is 7279, 7279. It's only a different meta tag. So that was the problem. So that was not... Yeah. Now it doesn't go. Now it stays in here. But if we put the silver, it's going to put 16 in here. Yes. So it would be nice to be able to tell it to... times a multiplier, like put it in stacks of 16, but that's a little bit too much to ask to program in here. I mean, I know McJetty could do it, but it's like so specific for this, right? So now when this is done, we're just gonna have to wait this out. It's already good that it doesn't pull the silver grit out. And then when this is done, it should put the ingots in here. Now while we wait for this, there's this other thing here called the facades that I love. You right click the ground somewhere. Now it says facade is now mimicking cobblestone. And now I can come down here. And because this is a connector, if I just right click, it will open the connector. Right click and it's covered. You guys see? It doesn't show it. That's kind of weird. Are you going to have this problem with everything? That's because it's chisel. Oh boy. Is there a way that I can break the cover? Yes, okay. Alright, so we're going to have to use something else. We're probably going to have to use something like the andesite again. Just a regular vanilla block. What did I do with my andesite? Alright, let's just get some fresh ones. And andesite. Let's just get 4. Bam. I want to mimic this. And now I can place this down there. And you guys see? It covers them. I love this. It doesn't actually, you don't need the block. It just uses the facade block. And now it's all covered up and you can see it. One more thing. Let's check here. It's almost done. You can also name these here, right? If you have a connector on multiple sides, like you have 3 pulverizers next to it, right? Around it. You can name them the one side pulverizer A, pulverizer B, and so on. And you can also here disable that, like, I don't want it to connect to a certain side, right? Like up. I don't want it to connect up. I could turn it off right there. But for our purposes, we can just leave everything in default because I clearly see what is what. And it's done. Check it out. Ingots were done. It pulled them out and it put the next silver grit in here. So now we do have a little bit different furnace here. I'm not really too thrilled about the solution that I went with here, honestly, because it's still quite slow. So once we go into an actual automation, we're probably going to have to resort to using something like the mechanism smelter factory thing, where you can have multiples, or something like an overclocked redstone furnace from thermal expansion or something like that. But for the time being, I can take a lot of my ore now. And I'm going to just give you guys an example. Yeah, let's do iron. I always need iron. I have made quite a few ingots today, but I still need more. So once we have the first one here, we see iron grit, right? So I'm going to take iron grit and also lead grit in case I ever process these two, right? The lead. So now I'm going to come in here and say insert here on the silver. I want to also allow iron, and I want to allow lead as well. And on the extract, I need to do the same. Oh, shoot. I messed that up. It's probably now pulling out the silver. Yeah, it's all sitting in here now. Okay, that was my bad. But that's fine. We'll just restart this. So now once I have more than 16 iron in here. Okay, it already put the first 16 iron. Oh, it does it per. So it's not per type. Oh boy. I did a couple more tries here with different things, and then now it just clicked. Hopefully you guys noticed it quicker than me that I had a wrong thinking here. That when you say max amount in destination inventory, that it will never put more than 16. Okay? I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. When I put 1 in here, it will put 1 into this one, even though it's set to 16. So what happens is if I put more in here, it will put up to 16. So while this is crushing over here, it will just keep putting over 2 at a time, right? So this is not a solution for us because it will constantly reset our seared furnace right here. So I think for the time being, I'm just going to take all this down again, this controller and so on, and just have it sitting here, okay? And then when I'm ready to smelt something, I'm just gonna take out, let's say, 64 of each, just like that, and I'm gonna put them in here by hand, like this. And that way it smelts it all. And maybe you guys have some better idea on how to automate this. Just in case you're wondering, by the way, what I did here is I moved the connector from underneath here in the middle, and I added another temporary storage. So what I thought I'm going to do is pull out from the first one here and put it into the temporary up to 16. And then it just pulls it from there and puts it into the furnace, right? So I thought, hey, take always 16 from here and put it here. And then from there, put whatever is in here into there. So it doesn't just check if there's only 16 in this one. And then it kind of clicked and I figured out, hey, this doesn't work at all for our purposes. Now, I know that we could do this with, you guys see I've integrated dynamics. I'm going to have to check if there's a solution with that maybe. But the other one that would work for sure would be RF2's control, right? And I write a program and so on. Now, I was hoping to have a simpler solution than that, honestly. So, I'm just going to wait for you guys' comments. Maybe you have an idea on how I could make it. So, hey, make sure you always just put in by a factor of 16 to here to not waste any burn time or to reset it. But otherwise, until then, like I said, I'm just going to tear all this down again between episodes, and just gonna wait for you guys' comments. That is it for today. I really like how this looks up here, by the way. I like it. It looks very factory. I like it a lot. And we didn't get to the pipe entrance or exit. I'm probably gonna work on a design or something between episodes, and then we'll build it. Maybe I build one side and then we build the other side together. Something like that. But until next time, take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.